All right.
Let's do this thing.
We're live.
What's up? What's up, YouTube? It's the boy, the man. The boy, the man.
All right.
Taylor, is the fact that Bane's fan club follows us and tweets questions to us the highlight of your entire life?
He's muted. Taylor, you're muted.
Here we go.
Good morning and welcome. 777 0 1 Uptown 2 Dunk. You can find us on CLNS Media Daily, hunter.com-radio, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, anywhere you subscribe to your podcasts or watch us streaming a podcast live on YouTube on our tripod. I am Luke. Joined this morning by Andrew.
Slam through.
Taylor. And Jack.
That one shocked me.
Yeah, me too.
Wasn't ready for it.
I was kind of hoping that you'd go with Sean Paul.
Dude, that was really funny.
That video is
If
great.
you haven't seen the video of Jake Gyllenhaal,
Just loving Sean Paul.
like,
It's
I
my,
love my child.
it's my favorite take of 2019 by far.
It's a weird take, too.
It's a great take.
It's and you know, like it's kind of funny and kind of like, oh man, he really does like him. And also like Sean Paul.
It's a great take.
Shake that thing. I for a second when he was talking kept getting Sean Paul and Pitbull mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
They're
They're
similar,
they're
right?
similar. Except Sean Paul's 100% better. NBA free agency, 6 o'clock, or I guess 5 o'clock Central Time on Sunday is the time.
And nobody is talking to anybody until then. Like no deal.
Not allowed. It's against the rules.
Illegal.
Illegal, don't do it.
So I don't know how they're doing all of these things.
But everyone's going to have a
But
destination
all in silence.
come 5 o'clock.
I know. It will be over at 5:01,
Right.
which is actually not true because there's going to be,
There should be meetings.
and we just don't know. Like Kawhi is lining up meetings, things are expanding, and it's
Yeah.
normally in free agency, at least the last few years, it's been LeBron, where it's LeBron. There's the first domino that falls, and then
Yep.
after that, it's these other guys. And that's not always the case because Paul George signed early, and LeBron, you know, like it was weird last year because
Yeah.
LeBron was so certain on the LA thing. Apparently, Paul George was certain at Oklahoma City, but it's never stops, man.
Never.
Never.
It's gonna be a crazy day. I may not have internet that day, which
There's a chance I may not either, actually.
so
we'll be at Carlton Landing, which they're wide.
Oh, yeah.
Their cell service is spotty.
Carlton Landing.
I'll be at Carlton Landing
Very, very fancy.
using my monocle and
So the Lakers is the story, right?
no, man, not the one I want to talk about.
It's the story though.
I know
They've cleared cap space because the Wizards decided to take on 4 guys that may not even make the
because they're
roster.
like Mo Wagner or whatever his name is.
Wagner.
Wagner.
I think it was going to happen. Some team was going to take those guys.
Yeah. for
Some
sure.
team was going to take the future asset to take those guys on. It was going to happen. It's hilarious that it was the team that doesn't have a GM
Oh, it's
that-
not surprising.
that took them. But now the Lakers have max cap space, and they'll be able to sign really anybody they want.
Here's my question, though. This has been the consistent theme everybody's bringing up. Like, what makes more sense to me for the Lakers is not to sign a third max guy. Like I would distribute.
It depends on who it is.
Who? Like, I mean, obviously
Kawhi. Yeah.
I don't think Kawhi, maybe I'm crazy. I know he's taking a meeting. So apparently he's going to meet in LA with the Clippers and the Lakers first, and then he'll go meet with Toronto. I think part of the reason, and this is the total speculation, assuming, guessing, whatever you want to call it, it has felt from the beginning with this Kawhi story that he wants to be alpha, man. He wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense for him to go and play with LeBron. And he's not chasing rings. The dude has everything he wants, like every accomplishment.
He's got 2 rings.
What's the point?
2 Finals MVPs.
So going to the Clippers makes sense because he's the man in LA, which makes sense. And Lou Williams mentioned this week in an interview, and I thought it was at least something worth thinking about. He said, when I played in Toronto, now Lou Williams and Kawhi are very different. Lou mentioned that whenever he played in Toronto, it felt like he was playing overseas, like he was basically playing in the EuroLeague, which is not real, but whatever. I understand. Like you're living in an actual different country. So there are parts of the Clippers-Toronto thing I would be the most nervous about. The Lakers thing, I don't see him landing there, but maybe I'm crazy.
I mean, last season LeBron and AD both had plus 30 usage rates.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously they're not going to have as high this year, but still the amount of shots are just going to be limited for those guys. And I'd rather, if I'm LA, I'd just rather find as much shooting as possible, find some good rim protection, and get as many guys that can just catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Off of those 2.
I mean, JJ Redick or a Terrence Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get both of them.
You can get both of them.
And they would be, I just think that, obviously Kawhi. I don't know if Jimmy Butler.
Would you pay the max to Jimmy Butler on that team? If you're the Lakers. Jimmy might take it.
What is happening to us?
Dude, we're
so sneezy.
I know, man. This is crazy.
Jay, shut up. Taylor, would you give a max if you're the Lakers to Jimmy Butler? Because you're assuming at that point that you can fill out the rest of your roster with just vet minimums that can bring what you need.
Yeah. What about who else would you give it to? Kyrie? Would you give it to Kyrie?
No. What about you, Tay?
He's probably the only other guy I would give it to. Would you max out? It's worked before.
But didn't it shake out weird at the end of it? Like they didn't like each other.
But they technically reconciled, is what everybody says. At some point this year, Kyrie called him and told him how flat the earth was, and then said, hey, man, I didn't realize what it was like to truly lead a team. Which is funny because you know what he didn't do in Boston?
Lead a team.
Lead a team.
Well, he did. He just led
them into the toilet.
Yeah.
Kyrie is, I get it, man, dude. All-world talent.
Mm-hmm.
He is just, like, I understand why the Nets are like,
He's super weird.
Yeah, and I don't think he has I think he does work better in a system like that where he is the third guy on the team.
Be a lot, yeah. So I think
they'd be terrifying with Kyrie.
You'd have to consider that.
They would be they're so limited. I think one of the things that's different between Kevin Love and Anthony Davis, and maybe Anthony Davis he will progress this way. Kevin could stretch the floor a little better.
Yeah.
Felt like at least than Anthony Davis can. And so I think that they need shooting. They need it so badly.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean,
Kyrie can shoot.
Maybe you can get a ton. Maybe you can get a ton of vet guys that just want to come and Anthony Tolliver. I don't know. But back in the day, the Cavs teams worked because Kyrie and Kevin Love were proficient 3-point shooters.
Yep.
And then you could just put whoever else you wanted on the floor to try to. I don't know. I think LA is depending on being LA to draw guys, and they're probably not wrong because they're doing it so far. And Pelinka made a good move getting rid of those 3 guys. Like, he's done the things in the post-AD trade to make it feel like he actually knows what he's doing.
Yep.
I just hate it.
It sucks.
So there's a lot of other stuff going on as far as, like, I think the Boston stuff is very intriguing. The Kimball Walker, if you're paying attention to that, Woj reported yesterday morning that Boston has become the front runner in the Kemba Walker sweepstakes, which I like for Boston. I think he'd be a great fit there.
Yeah. So it's interesting because that leaves the Celtics with basically trading Kyrie and Al Horford for Kemba Walker. You know?
Yeah, that doesn't make it sound quite as good.
They're not going to be as good. I think that's cool that you can get Kemba to come there. But Al Horford was a huge part of who they were.
Sure.
And I think losing that's why there's that report from Steez or whoever is out there saying that it makes sense that if they do get Kemba Walker, that a Steven Adams trade makes even more sense then. Because if you don't get Kemba, then you're basically just a rebuilding team. Who cares who you have?
Yeah.
If you get Kemba Walker, you're trying to compete again, and you have no big man. They let Baines go. Al Horford's leaving. You know, and you can't. There'll be a team operating over the cap at that point, and you're not going to go
so
get.
Your only options are to get somebody through a trade.
Through a trade, or if you're going to use any of your exceptions, maybe you could get a guy through that. And so if they strike out on getting a legit good big guy, like if they can't get a Robin Lopez or somebody of that caliber, then you're going to have to go get a big guy via trade. And that's where a Steven Adams deal does
Has Robin
make
Lopez
sense for them.
Is he overrated? Like in the sense of like I hear all of these people and I get it. Like he does a lot of the same things, Steven, but he is not Steven Adams.
No. I mean, I don't think anybody thinks that he's Steven Adams.
Because it's because some people, it does feel like this projection is just like, hey, get rid of Steven and get Robin Lopez and your team doesn't drop off. I think he's not defensively the same.
No, if you could fit, but the thing is, like,
they're both big guys.
He's what, like 65% of what Adams brings?
Yeah.
Rather than like getting a guy that feels like 50%. Like Nerlens Noel, like he was fine, but he's not.
No, he's problematic.
He's not nearly as good as Robin Lopez.
He's so bad at being where he's supposed to be defensively. He takes too many risks on defense, which is great in spot minutes. And he'll be great for maybe the Lakers, you know, like he'll do something where he can just block shots and be annoying on defense.
Yeah.
But we don't expect you to.
Everybody thinks like there's a lot of great free agent centers. There's like a lot of good backups.
Yeah, Alex mentioned that on Wednesday. And I went through it. I mean, you get through the top three, because you have Vucevic. The Thunder aren't in the Vucevic sweepstakes. Maybe Boston could get into it if
they don't get Kemba.
It doesn't make sense to me for them to do that.
No.
Then you have, I mean, who? Where do you go to from there?
I mean, as far as like guys that will be available to me, I'm trying to pull up the list.
I got you.
Like there's not a lot of starting caliber bigs that you can get for cheap.
Yeah, Dwayne Dedmon.
Everybody loves Dwayne Dedmon. Dwayne Dedmon's never been a starter in the NBA. Maybe he could be.
Willie Cauley-Stein is intriguing to me. Like I think that Sacramento conversation.
He's interesting. He's interesting in the same way Nerlens was interesting last year. You know what I mean? Nope. He might be a little bit better.
So your second rated on the Hoops Hype free agent center is DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
DeMarcus isn't going to come.
He's not going to go for the minimum somewhere or for an exception somewhere.
He's going to go try from. I mean, the most recent rumor is that the Knicks, this is the most Knicks move.
Oh yeah.
The rumor is? Did you hear this one, Taylor? That if the Knicks swing out or swing and miss on getting any of the big free agents, they're going to throw like a 1 year, $20 million at DeMarcus Cousins. Yeah, that is. I think that's just what they're going to end up doing.
It's happening. Okay.
So let's do this. Let's do a round. I'm just going to start reading off centers that are on the free agency list.
All the centers.
Okay. So Vucevic, he's off the table. I think he's going to resign with Orlando.
He's going to make a ton of money.
Maybe the Kings, whatever. DeMarcus Cousins, no thanks. I'd be cool, but he's not going to come.
Who are we talking about? For the Thunder?
For the Thunder.
Okay. To start in place of Steven Adams if they trade him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's reasonably gettable.
Yeah. Not reasonable.
Al Horford.
Not reasonable.
Not reasonable. Like it's the gymnastics to get him without him opting in at Boston.
You could not.
There's no way to do it.
You could not. Especially if you're taking on Gordon Hayward, which is the assumed trade that would be done. If if they acquire Kemba Walker, the assumed trade would be, honestly, it would be Steven Adams, Robertson, Patterson for
Gorgman.
Let's talk about that in a second. Let's go through the centers and let's talk about
Okay, so Al Horford. Al Horford's also signing. His agent probably is throwing out there that there's somebody out there that's going to give him 4 years at $112 million, which is way.
Someone will do it. The Kings might do it. Dallas might do it. One of those teams will do it, I think.
He'll be 37 years old at the end of that contract.
And he'll be raking in the cash.
Oh, my gosh. Marc Gasol is staying in Toronto.
Yep.
Brooke Lopez, it sounds like, is going to stay in Milwaukee. They're working aggressively. They have mutual.
Also not feasible.
Yeah. If he's going to ask for 15 to 20, his last contract.
Yeah. I mean, he might get that.
I think you would maybe take less to stay in Milwaukee because Milwaukee kind of, that was probably most enjoyable basketball he's played.
Yeah.
Ever. DeAndre Jordan.
I think he sucks now.
I don't know. It's hard to evaluate last year, but he's pretty limited. He doesn't stretch the floor, if that's what you're looking for.
I'm not interested.
Valanciunas, he's a
not feasible.
Foreman's version of Steven Adams. Then you have Willie Cauley-Stein, who's technically restricted. They're going to release him.
He's interesting, but is that the guy that you want to say, we're going to let you're going to start for us? He's too much of a wild card.
Yeah. Dennis Cantor.
You're down to a maybe. And he would probably, if you said, hey, Ennis, you can come back to the Thunder and start, he'd probably be like, yep.
Yeah, for real.
I don't think that's not who I want the starting center for the Thunder to be, but
okay, so here
he's
we are.
He's on the list.
We're at the 11th and 12th, which is kind of in that range where financially maybe the Thunder can afford it. Robin Lopez.
Yeah, that's a guy. If they can shed salary, feel like they can use their mid-level exception, then that's the guy. To me, that's the guy. I don't know who else is.
It gets real bad real quick.
What are you doing? Signing Tyson Chandler? Are you signing Ed Davis?
JaVale?
Goodness, no. Frank Kaminsky?
Boban?
Boban's super fun, but not super good. Nene? Nope.
No.
Yeah, he'll be on a minimum.
Amir Johnson would be a great backup, or a decent backup. Zaza.
Zaza's there. See, and everybody's like, there's such a great center market. There's a good center market for if you're going to pay 10 to 12 million. There's not if you're trying to get a guy on a minimum. They're all backups.
There are a ton of really good backups this year that you can get for pretty cheap.
They're all backups.
You can even go, I just saw him and moved past him. The Sacramento Kings, he played there forever. Costa Kufos. Cool backup.
Yeah, you're not starting Kufos.
No. Anyway, so
that's why
Kyle O'Quinn. Great.
Yeah, he's a guy that he's a backup that didn't really even play last year.
Yeah, because they had 5 centers.
And
then drafted another one. So I think that brings up. I don't think it's clear cut. Now I get it. I get it. If you're going to take a hit on your starting 5, what position would you prefer it be?
It's
the center position.
It's the big man.
All you need them to do is what Robin Lopez does: be in position, get the ball. If you're close, score it. If you're not, pass it.
Yeah, Lopez can shoot a mid-range jumper and will.
And I think the thing that we've done, and this is why I just caution most fans that are down on Adams, is I think we've massively, and I get it, there are reasons, especially towards the end of the season, but the whole team was in kind of chaos mode.
Yep.
There are so many small things that Adams brings to this team that I think we just underrate.
Sure.
Now, at the same time, as I think, and I love what Brett said, is you've tried it. You tried this version of the Thunder. Now, I think it's unfair to say that in some sense because injuries really told us a story that we don't really know the fullness of.
But we have seen the past 2 seasons that Adams, in the absence of another player, hasn't been able to step up and fill in the gap. Because that's what was needed in the playoffs. We need someone to step up and fill in the gap of Paul George not being 100%. And the truth is, He wasn't able to do it. Russell wasn't able to do it. If they can find somebody else that they think could maybe do that, I think that it's worth trying. I don't want the Thunder to trade Steven Adams. I don't want that to happen. I think he's awesome. He's obviously a fan favorite. He's easily the best guy to talk to on the team. He's great. For very selfish reasons, I do not want them to trade him. But you have to admit, especially with Paul George being out likely for a month, maybe 2 months to start the season, that's a thing. If you could bring in a Gordon Hayward to take wing scoring with Russell, and if you can get a decent center to start like a Robin Lopez, your starting point's going to be a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
And then you incorporate Paul George in as the best player. And Hayward can play the 4 in small ball setting. It's really intriguing. I don't know, because everybody talks about it. It takes a year to get back from an injury like that. And Paul is a guy that obviously has been through it. He knows. He's been through it. And so I think that there's a good chance that Gordon Hayward's going to be back and better than he was this past year. And getting out of Boston, I think, might help too. So it's a very intriguing option. I don't know if it's on the table. I don't know if that's something that the Celtics would even consider. I don't know. But to me, it would make sense for them if they do get Kemba to be looking at trading for a big guy. And it may even, like, it could end up being Clint Capella. It could end up being Steven Adams. I don't know.
I think Adams would fit better what Boston wants than Capella for sure. But who knows, man? All I have to say, there's a lot. Like, there could be a lot that happens in the next 2 years.
There will be a lot that happens.
For the Thunder.
Oh, for the Thunder. There could. It could be nothing.
We could literally start this season with the same team basically we had, with the expectation that Dre is healthier or closer. You know,
and
you're hearing rumbles that he's working out really hard and looks good and all those different things. You may see a jump from one of these guys. I mean, I think we have a question on this, but I think you should expect to see a jump from Terrence Ferguson.
Maybe.
You should hopefully see something from either one of the 5 wings that they've stockpiled.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hope it's not Nader, but is it Diallo? Is it Burton? Is it even maybe Kevin Hervey? Is it this Baisley kid that comes in and you don't know? Like, we don't know. Like, you hope that one of these guys can maybe be.
Well, and you'd also hope that they would get a veteran minimum guy that can actually help you.
Yep. Which they're out there.
Because if all they do is dump Patrick Patterson, it'll be unlikely that they use 1, the Melo trade exception, and 2, the taxpayer mid-level. It's unlikely. So if they can offload Adams' contract and save significant money, then that's when I think that opens up the mid-level exception. If they can't do that, or if they can unload Dre and bring back something very small, then maybe they use it.
Yeah. You still got Furkan Korkmaz is out there. So
yeah, he's out there. He'll be there.
He's going to be there. I'm looking at shooting guards.
He's the TLC of this offseason.
Looking at shooting guards, you can get roughly 30 guys in and be like, I'd give that guy a shot.
Yeah.
Like Troy Daniels, I don't think he's kind of
like a shooting specialist. Yeah.
Anyway, so it just could be a really fun weekend, and it's not on July 4th itself. It's on this. What is that? The 30th. The 30th.
Yeah,
it's great, fantastic.
It'd be good.
So maybe everything can be done.
Bring back Melo.
Okay.
On the minimum.
He's going to LA. He's doing it.
Is he coming back in the league?
No. Probably really is going to check.
Yeah.
So did you get cold? Yeah, the Thunder just signed all the guys that just have those random.
Yeah, he's interesting. Taylor, what do you think about the Adams stuff? About trading Steven Adams. What do you think about trading Steven Adams? Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah. Steven's a great player. That's another reason why the Celtics want him. That's the reason why the Celtics would do the deal. It's because Steven's a really good player, and he really helps your team win. It's just yeah. Yeah, I mean I think the only reason people entertain it, one, it's a mechanism to save money. Two, if you can exchange center talent for wing talent, I think that's often a good trade. This is, I mean, basically the cap stuff is finally starting to correct itself, and teams you can't. I mean, you can't build a team like the Warriors again. I don't think.
No, unless there's another spike like there was in 2016. I will say this: I did hear, and this is what you don't know, and this is what you try to project right after the LeBron season. You mean?
Well, the Warriors is worse, much worse. I think you can build. I mean, obviously, you can build a team with 3 stars. I mean, like you can still do. The Lakers are about to try to do it. You have to. It took like 5 lucky things for them to get to that level. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think that can be done again. But yeah, I mean, I don't. There's not a lot of trades that make sense for Steve. I think the Hayward one is super interesting.
So Hayward makes what, 32, 33, 34, I think his next 3 years.
I think that's right.
And you would get off of, for 1 year, you're getting off of 15 million with Patterson and Gray, and then 25. So you'd be giving up 40 with Steve and those two.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to gain back, and this is not usable money, I think is the thing people need to remember. Like if they send 40 out and they receive 32, that $8 million, and then like, oh, okay, now the Thunder can use that. Like they still would be over the cap. They would just be further from or they would be lower on the tax line, correct? Mm-hmm. Like I don't have those specific numbers. And the salary cap in the NBA is like, I've never felt so confused sometimes.
I know, man. It's brutal.
But what they said, one of the things I heard is that the actual projected line for this year, I think is going to come, the projection is going to come lower than the actual line. So I think the projected salary cap is 109. And I think that they're saying that there could be, a million variation, $1 million or $2 million above that. Which what's crazy about that is like, if that changes the tax line by $2 million, that saves the Thunder like 10 million or something.
Yeah.
Because they have that multiplier repeater tax. So there's a lot going on, man. And it really is exciting. I think that all of us, not all of us, because there's obviously Thunder fans that don't love Steven Adams, but man,
I don't really want it to happen.
This pulls at my heartstrings, man, because I love him so much. And it's weird because 2 years ago, like Sam Presti emphasized that Steven is one of the 3 cornerstones of this team. Yeah. But it just tells you how this is the luxury tax happening and functioning the way it is. The hard part is most of the time it punishes teams that went into the conference finals or further,
Yep.
So anyway. All right, man, let's do some Twitter questions.
All right, our first Twitter question comes from @CBeat34, who wants to know to help with backup big man depth. What are the chances we bring Taj Gibson back?
Yeah, this is a good option too. If you're even to replace Steven, if you're looking for a replacement, like Taj wouldn't be the worst option. As a backup big, great. I think he's good. I think the only drawback is that he doesn't really stretch the floor. I know he shot more corner threes last year, but he's still not a guy that you're going to guard. So I think if you're looking for a backup for Steven, I think that you would first look for a guy that can shoot it. And if you can't find a guy that can shoot it, then Taj is a good option. He's a good player.
All right, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from Matthew C7673, who wants to know, do you think the Thunder take a shot at Stanley Johnson? Seems to be a guy the Thunder can get cheap, and he could take some minutes off of PG's shoulders.
Yeah, Stanley Johnson's just not that good, right, Taylor?
That's what I was gonna say. Like he's been bad. He acts like he's good. And when he plays like the big time players, he acts like he's good. He's just been bad.
Yeah, he's bounced around. He's a free agent. They've declined his option. I mean, I don't know. He's interesting just because he was a lottery pick. If Stanley Johnson wasn't a lottery pick, then like would anybody ever talk about him? I mean, for the Pelicans, a team that was not good, he only played 13 minutes a game and scored 5 points per game on 5 shots per game.
Nice.
He's a career 29% from 3. Yeah. He's never averaged double digits. He stinks.
Yeah, he's not very good. I will say this: like it doesn't feel like too far off of a Presti move, and I wouldn't be upset with it if, and that's a big if, they somehow fill out the roster with like 3 bench shooters, to where all of a sudden you're like, hey, just Stanley, go play defense.
I'd rather give the minutes to Deontay.
I mean, of course, I would have rather given Nader's minutes to Deontay too this year, but it just wasn't what.
I don't want Stanley Johnson on this team. I'd rather Darius Baisley play those minutes. At least a guy that has like actual potential, rather than a guy that's been in the league for 4 years and is like, well, maybe Stanley Johnson can still be something because somebody thought he was good a long time ago.
Him and Justice Winslow, are they the same player basically?
Winslow's like actually good.
Is he?
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Right. Stanley, yeah. He's played for 2 teams, several different coaches that are just like, yeah, I'd rather not.
Nope. Non-cool.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Brad Evans, who says it's not appealing, but if Kimbo leaves, is Schroeder to Charlotte a possibility?
I think so.
I think
Like Ham mentioned that on Dream Team. I absolutely think so.
as a salary dump candidate,
I think
what do you bring him
so.
back?
True statement. If I think you could salary dump Schroeder and keep this team and then I don't know the numbers, but what he would give you the flexibility to add a little better MLE. If you could drop Schroeder and have more confidence that you could give the full taxpayer MLE to Wesley Johnson or Wes Matthews.
Yeah.
Like I think you do that.
Who's your backup point guard?
Yeah, let me go find some backup point guards. So Taylor, what do you think about a salary dump with Schroeder? Like how bad does that put this about? And I thought Schroeder was
He's good.
good.
Yeah, he's legit good. Yeah. Reggie. Eric Maynor. DJ Augustine. Yeah.
So let me throw out some backup point guard potentials.
Okay.
These guys are unrestricted.
Okay.
Shamaz Napier, Jared Bayless, Shane Larkin, Ray, Shelvin Mack. So you get a little higher up here, you start getting to like an Alex Caruso, which I think that Lakers, I don't know. I have no idea what his deal is at this point.
I think he's restricted.
You have, I just avoid restricted because the Thunder aren't going to do that. Jeremy Lin.
That'd be cool. I just don't know. I don't know how much he can play.
Corey Joseph, I think, would go higher than they'd want to pay for a backup. TJ McConnell.
No.
Ish Smith.
No.
Isaiah Thomas.
No.
Darren Collison.
He's gonna make so much money.
Yeah, Lakers are going to sign him.
Jerry and Grant.
He's restricted, but I mean, I wonder if the Magic would just let him go.
I think they would.
I think they would. He's still not.
Actually,
that
I think that they did.
good. Did they?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it all sounds good in theory,
I know.
you know, but like in practice, actually finding a guy that you're like, okay, I trust you to play 15 minutes a game. There's just not a ton of guys like out there that you'd say that you would do that. Elfrid Payton.
Juwan Evans.
I mean, Juwan Evans is on is a Thunder man.
Here's Juwan Evans makes me think of that movie Juwan Man. We should start looking at WNBA stars that we could bring over.
I'd bring Diana Taurasi to run backup point guard.
That'd be super, super tight.
That'd be awesome.
I'm 100% in on that. Austin Rivers.
He's surely going back to.
Rajon. Yeah, he's not gonna. He probably won't play for the minimum. Who's paying Derrick Rose this summer?
He's probably the Knicks.
Again. He was good last year. Okay.
Dude, I'd take him.
Okay. Listen. The Thunder trade Schroeder into space and then use the taxpayer MLE $5 million to pay Derrick Rose.
He can want all he wants. I'm not sure that he will get 1 in 5. My question is like a backup point guard or a wing shoot like a.
He can play next to Westbrook.
D Rose can?
I mean, why not?
I don't know. That would be so,
Schroeder did.
So much movement. Yeah, Schroeder just shot, I mean, relatively well last year. Let me see. Let me get them comps up for you. I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be also kind of cool to have Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook on the same team just because they're in the same draft class.
And feel like they're 10 years difference.
Remember how good Derrick Rose was?
Yeah. That 50-point game was the moment of the season.
Dude, he was the man. He was the man. And back then you were like, hey, you know, someday Russell Westbrook is going to surpass him.
No, you're talking about like
tremendously.
Yeah, D Rose shot 37% from the 3-point line this year.
What are we waiting for?
Like without it, like not even close. The year before he shot 17%. The year before that he shot 25%. He hadn't shot over 30% since 2013.
He's healthy.
No.
Actually, I'm all out on Derrick Rose now.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, and his nickname is the Windy City Assassin.
All right, so let me ask this one. Jamal Crawford.
No.
Why not?
Why is my question.
Dude can shoot.
Can he?
I don't know. He does take shots.
He will shoot. Yeah, Derrick Rose, 18 points per game, 4 assists, 2.7 boards. Like, that's pretty good. He was really good for the Timberwolves last year.
What does Justin Holiday make this offseason?
He would be a mid-level guy, a taxpayer MLE guy at the most. You're paying him more than that? Like, heck no. Get out of
He's
town.
not at that minimum, or he's not a minimum.
He might be. Who's gonna? I mean, Justin.
Yeah, he's been on 3 teams. Wow,
Yeah.
that's older than I thought it was.
That's a lot longer than I thought.
That would be. I mean, that's kind of a Thunder. I'm getting a huh?
I don't know. Like, how much better is he than any of the guys that? I mean, I just don't know that he's any good. Yeah, I just don't think he's good. I don't think he'd do that.
All right.
I don't. Remember Memphis acquired him for 2 second-round picks. He did jack squat for Memphis. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's not good.
I do wonder. So here's another thing. I think if the Thunder really want to get underneath the cap, or not underneath, but lower into the tax.
Yeah.
Like, I think there are going to be teams that have the ability to just take on. Now, the hard part is the Thunder don't have a lot of future assets that they really want to put in with a guy like Schroeder.
Yeah.
Or if you Patterson and Dre, like the Knicks. Like, if the Knicks strike out and don't get any other free agents, you're gonna have like $50 million in tax space or in salary cap space that they have a portion of it they even have to use just to get to the floor.
You have to get to like 90% of the cap.
So there is a thing in theory to where February comes and it's the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And the Thunder are like, hey, we got to get under the cap. The Knicks, hey, why don't y'all take Diallo and these 2 guys just into your cap space?
Yeah, that would be sad.
It would be sad, but that's like if getting underneath or getting lower in the taxes that have a priority, which we are basing off of the Shams. We're basing it off of that conversation.
Yeah.
That the Thunder were shopping the 21st pick for tax relief.
Yeah.
If that is the goal, then there is still, and that's such an important reminder, is there will be time. They don't have to get underneath it until after the season, like till after the trade deadline, basically. The roster's set.
Yeah.
Then, So I just think that there will be, even if it's like you don't see anything happen from the Thunder in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and they may come out and just start blowing people apart, and the ownership may be like, hey, let's just do it one more year. We'll just bite the bullet, pay the tax this year.
And also you get to see, like, is Dre a player?
Yeah. Because if he is,
then you're not going to trade him into cap space. You're going to try to figure something else out.
Yeah, you'll be able to trade him for something more, hopefully substantial. But anyway.
I'm in on the Derrick Rose for Schroeder trade, though. It's not a trade. It's not a trade. Not a trade, but you know what I mean. What is it? Oh, am I okay with that? Yeah, pretty much.
All right, guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. Real quick shout out to @ChadImus33 who asked us about the impact of Steve Adams to Boston since they're the front runner for Kemba. And our next Twitter question comes from @97P Samuel, who says, when the Knicks miss out on all their free agent aspirations, what will be the most depressing signing or the more depressing signing? Harrison Barnes or DeMarcus Cousins?
I think it's Harrison Barnes without a doubt. God. Oh. And then by February, they realize that one of their young guys is better than Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes comes off the bench making $25 million.
I mean, this is the future.
This is
exactly what's going to happen.
I think we just saw the future.
Which is good. Screw the Knicks, man.
The Knicks have operated all season like they were getting Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I mean, I guess they still might, but it sure
They're gonna
doesn't.
get neither one of them.
It sure doesn't feel like it.
Hey, can I pause for a second? So looking at Charlotte,
Yeah.
they have $85 million next year tied up in Nick Batum,
Yeah.
Bismack Biyombo,
Yeah.
Marvin Williams,
Gosh.
Cody Zeller, and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. $85 million in 5 guys that would maybe not even play for a majority of
And
contending teams.
and you guys want to complain about Steven Adams' contract? Like at least Steven Adams is good.
And young.
I think if you took all of their talent and put it into one, it probably wouldn't quite equal how good Steven Adams is.
$85 million.
That's. I mean, if you're a basketball fan in Charlotte, like how could you even follow that team? Especially if after Kemba leaves, how could you even try to follow that team?
They literally, if I was Mitch Kupchak, I'm just letting Kemba walk.
Walker.
I
I would.
really would, just in the sense like, dude, hey, we're going to be awful, and we're going to get a draft pick, and then we're going to go full-blown tank. Because after that, man, they have like no money on the books in 2020, 2021.
I would light the arena on fire and just be like, oh crap, we can't play this year.
Insurance, we need an insurance claim.
Oh,
for,
man.
$110 million.
Too bad we can't play this year, guys. We'll have a new arena next year.
I don't think Jordan will let them do that, man, because he's not a very good owner. But I don't know.
Light the arena on fire?
Well, yes, that and tank. But anyway, I just was like 85. There's always ways for it to be worse. The Thunder have $75 million tied up in Steven Adams, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook. That's a slightly better predicament.
Slightly.
Come on, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Great playoff run.
With Serge Ibaka and Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah.
With 2 other basic centers, basically.
They traded him, Timothy Mozgov, for him.
Yeah, so those are just salary swaps, right?
Yeah, I was like, hey, you wanna have our centers that make way too much money change cities? Sure.
The 2016 centers, man. It was like
God, those centers.
those centers.
Sin. Hey, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Alaskan Strummer, who says his roommate is becoming a Lakers fan. Should he move?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this comes from 2 former Laker fans.
Golly, becoming a Lakers fan.
I was a Shaq fan.
I was a Shaq fan too, and I followed Shaq. I became a Heat fan.
I was a Boston fan, a Phoenix fan, a Cleveland fan.
Became a huge Phoenix fan. Yeah. No, like you don't let him do this. You cannot let him do this.
No. You need to threaten him.
He's a Thunder fan changing into a Lakers fan. Is that the situation?
Out.
I need more information. Or is he just like a non-basketball fan becoming a basketball fan? Oh, yeah. Those guys are around.
All right.
Are there any just diehard, I only like Anthony Davis fans? Is that a thing? Like, I can't imagine that being like an actual thing.
Whoever they were, they're gone this year. Like
Yeah, they're so embarrassed that they burned everything they had.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next.
For real though, what an embarrassing season from Anthony Davis. What an utterly embarrassing season. What a stupid time that he had this season.
Wow.
It was dumb. It was awful.
Wow. Little wiggle room.
Wow.
Guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Final Shy Kane, who wants to know: is it reasonable to expect a similar jump in progression for Ferguson like Grant had. Maybe not to the same extent, but the three-point shooting, the defense, closing things out.
Everything I've heard about Ferguson is he has a great work ethic.
Yeah.
A jump, I mean, all I want from Ferguson is consistency. But I think a part of that for Ferguson is going to come from getting the opportunity.
Reps. Yeah.
Like that's McKelly is the one that keeps bringing this back up. It's like you can shift the way this team plays just simply by giving Grant and Ferguson more shots.
Yeah.
And so that's the question mark to me.
It's a question mark. I don't know what to expect from him, to be honest. He played well in spots this past year. He had a good year. He has another summer under his belt of progressing.
I wonder if he'll be on the Thunder Summer League team. I doubt
He's
it.
not.
Okay.
Has
the roster been out there?
There's not a roster, but Sam already said he's not playing.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect from Ferguson, to be honest. He could have the same year that he had last year. I don't think that you should expect him to be a whole lot better. If he ends up being better, great. But if your expectation is that he makes this big jump, then I think you might be in for a big letdown because there's no guarantee that he's much better than what he was. I mean, he's the 21st pick in the draft. Like some of those guys progress and become great players, but most of them are either quality bench players or like fine starters. They don't all become great players. So like my expectation for Ferg is kind of low, to be honest. Like I expect him to be kind of what he was this year and maybe a little bit better. But expecting him to make a big leap, it could happen. But I think that you might be setting yourself up.
It's a good
a
word.
little bit.
All right, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @OldDirtyMath, who wants to know or says Kemba is meh and Kyrie is a weirdo. Who would you rather have on your team?
I'd rather have Kemba Walker on my team. You just seem
Same.
At least you know what you're getting every night. Like he's gonna play hard. He's gonna get to the basket. He goes to the foul line. Kyrie's so weird, man. It depends on what you have around Kyrie too. Like if you know that you have a player that's much better than Kyrie on your team, I'll take Kyrie. If Kyrie's gonna be your best player, get him out of here. I don't want him.
Yeah, you don't want him to be your primary leader.
No.
No, man.
He's a rudderless ship.
Hey, guys, let's move on to our next.
I was listening to Brian Windhorst talk about which is always funny, like Brian Windhorst and Zach Lowe talking about Kyrie Irving's Instagram post. It's just like both those guys are so far out of the realm of like, what the hell is he doing?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like, they're already kind of like not irrelevant, but like I don't know. Like I don't even have an Instagram. It's Zach Lowe's. Like I don't even know what that means.
Right. He's too weird, man.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Ben.
Taylor's trying to talk. Luke, you're moving too fast.
Sorry.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
All right, our next Twitter question from @Bangelo, who wants to know Kit Kat or Twix bars.
I think it's fairly obvious.
Do you? Because I know that.
All right, here, hold on. Let's all do it at the same time because I don't know if it's fairly obvious. 3, 2, 1. Kit Kat.
Twix. Really?
Yeah.
Kit Kats are good.
They're good.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Break me up a piece of it.
Kit Kat
What's
bar.
in there? It's Andy
Yeah.
Dwyer from
Break me off a piece. No, it wasn't Andy Dwyer.
not Andy Dwyer. Yeah. Isn't that his name?
Yeah, but I don't know that that's who it was.
Oh, it definitely was. And they kept
No.
putting all the fake ones.
No. It was Andy from The Office.
Now, who's Andy Dwyer? Is that from Parks and Rec?
That's Parks and Rec,
Oh.
yeah.
Why'd they do that? It's confusing.
I don't know. But Andy was breaking off a piece. He's like, no, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Nobody tell him.
Yeah.
Okay. Really, guys?
Twix are better.
Twix are better.
Twix are better.
Cookies? Caramel?
Hey, can we talk about one more thing before we move on to the other two Twitter questions from Angelo?
Sure.
So Jesse Smith, Benevolent King, asked this question. So
a part of the Tulsa crew.
Part of the, I know, man.
And Angelo.
We haven't.
You guys are great.
Still last Thursday.
The best.
Just awesome night. So he asked the question, and this is, I think, one of the also most interesting storylines of the next week is this Rockets maneuvering for Jimmy Butler thing. Maneuvering for Jimmy Butler. Trading Gordon Capella Tucker to get Jimmy Butler.
It's the dumbest thing ever, and I love it. I want it to happen so bad.
Just to watch it all.
They're not going to be a better team that way. And how in the world are they going to share the ball? Chris Paul's already mad that they're not playing a certain way, and you want to bring Jimmy Butler onto that team.
Daryl Morey cares not for chemistry.
Clearly.
And gets praised as a GM because of it.
I mean,
for the Sixers, he should be.
And he was, yeah.
The thing about Jimmy, though, is he's carried it with him everywhere he went. Like, he torpedoed the Timberwolves.
Remember he was on with Rachel Nichols on SportsCenter, just basically destroying the Timberwolves?
And then put him in, like, a locker room with not just with CP3 and James Harden, who have something going on. It may not be as enormous as it's been played out in the media.
Yeah.
But they have something going on. Chris Paul is a historically difficult teammate to play with because he's like high man's expectations, whatever.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you lose PJ Tucker, who seems to be the only consistent calming. Like it feels like just watching. He is the guy that leads that.
He's an emotional leader.
He's the emotional leader, right?
Yeah. Eric Gordon, really good. Clint Capella, really good. Here's my theory. They're trying to kill Mike D'Antoni so they don't have to pay him.
Maybe. And if you lose Clint Capella,
yeah,
I mean that's a team that's going to like JaVale McGee,
right?
Robin Lopez.
Bringing back Nene.
You bring it back, yeah. Like.
They go through the list that we just went through.
Yeah, and they have a different expectations because Capella does vary. They could get a McGee, and Capella's way better than McGee.
Way better.
I'm not saying that, but it's one of those things like you need a guy who just rolls to the rim. That's what you need.
Yeah, Willie Cauley-Stein.
But they can't afford that. If they go max with those three guys, especially with the old Furtada, like he don't want to pay money.
It's gonna be.
He's
awesome.
saying that. He's mocking the Chris Paul contract. They are
it's
on the precipice of being a dumpster fire. And it makes me – because all they have to do is run back the team they had.
Bring back your team.
The number one contender in the Western Conference.
They'll win the West if they run the team back and add a few guys on the fringes.
Or the Jazz, maybe. Right.
90% of Trevor Ariza. And James Ennis actually ended up being like pretty good for the Sixers.
Yeah, he'd be a guy that I'd maybe take a bet minimum on.
Yeah. He's a guy.
Guys, our next Bangelo Twitter question is Cheez-Its or Goldfish crackers?
Cheez-Its for show.
Cheez-Its.
Jay, don't do this.
This is an unpopular opinion.
No.
I don't love either one of them.
Okay, that's...
If they have like the flavor blasted, like I'll take some of those.
You need more. Jay's like, I need more flavor.
I do. That's my biggest issue with Cheez-Its and Goldfish is I just need a little more flavor. Hold on.
Okay, how about this? What if I handed you a Diet Dr. Pepper? Then what are you
DDP and Cheez-Its?
Are you into that?
Am I into Diet Dr. Pepper?
And Cheez-Its.
I probably have had
Jay, shut up!
Probably have had that
combo. Jay, no!
I have probably had that combo. I just don't remember. I'm sorry.
God, Jay. Oh.
I don't remember.
This is terrible.
Well,
And live stream eating them.
Yeah, I'll just take a just
On down to dunk. Yep. Please.
Yeah, they're good. They're just, like if you can do those two or a bag of chips. Hold on. If you can do those two or a bag of chips.
it just depends. It depends on the type of chips. It depends on what kind of
Yeah.
flavor I'm looking for.
It's true.
I'm not looking for chips when I'm wanting Cheez-Its.
Are there moments in your life where you want Cheez-Its?
I prefer Cheez-Its as a snack. I prefer chips with a meal.
I would agree with that. I would never have Cheez-Its in a meal.
Cheez-It is not a meal companion.
So
No. That's wrong.
you can technically eat anything for breakfast.
Yeah.
You can, especially when you wake up at 11:15, Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, like
True.
everything's on the table.
Right. Exactly.
All right.
So, are there moments? I'm asking you the legitimate question. You act like I'm a big dum-dum.
Yeah.
There are moments where you're like, I need to go get some Cheez. Like, would you make a run just for Cheez-Its?
No.
No,
I would not either.
nobody would.
But they're good.
Nope. So far down my list of snacks to choose.
I would not.
I wouldn't at a gas station. That's just not what I'm looking for.
Combos?
Ew.
Ugh.
I'm asking. These are questions. Combos or Cheez-Its?
Cheez-Its.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bag of chips. Over at Cheez-Its all day.
It depends on the situation.
Depends.
Do I have a cheeseburger?
All right. Our final Mandalorian Twitter question: best barbecue side dish.
Oh shoot.
Best barbecue side dish.
Cheez-Its.
Big bag of Cheez-Its.
Giant bag of Cheez-Its. I feel like I am the unpopular opinion on all these, so I'll just say baked beans.
Why is that no? That's a good
Okay,
answer.
all right. I'm just nervous. You guys are like
That's a good answer.
baked beans number 1.
Cornbread.
Cornbread.
It's up there. Number 2, fried okra.
I like fried okra. Yeah.
Fried
You're
okra.
back. You're back in the club, Jay.
Fried okra traditionally gives me a little stomach issues.
Really weird.
Pretty much, if you're going in on barbecue, baked beans, and okra, you just go ahead.
You're not really watching for that.
Just go ahead and throw in a little Pepto into that one. A little Tums. Tayshawn, what's your favorite barbecue side dish? Anything you. All right, let me throw out some stuff and tell me what you think. You like potato salad?
It depends.
I do like potato
Mustard
salad.
based?
No. Out.
Do you like deviled eggs?
No.
I do
Out.
like deviled
You don't like
eggs.
deviled eggs at all?
Out.
Oh,
They're
give me
good.
all the deviled eggs.
Yeah.
I don't like mustard or the devil.
It's true.
But prefer Derek Rose.
Okay, so deviled eggs out for Andrew. Everybody else is in. What else are some dishes? Hold on. What about sweet potatoes?
In.
Have you had Iron Stars sweet potatoes?
No.
Oh, sweet,
Oh.
sweet babies.
Brussels sprouts.
I wouldn't consider this a barbecue side dish,
But
I do like.
But do you
Brussels
like?
sprouts.
I'm just
I
asking.
love them.
So
Me too.
Natalie will cook them. Like she'll put them in the oven and bake them to where they kind of break down a little bit. Put a little bacon, a little balsamic
Yeah, dude.
glaze on. It. Woo, baby.
I'm in. All in.
What else, Taylor? What else do you eat with your barbecue, man? Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. is a barbecue side.
Mac and cheese.
mac and cheese.
Durr.
Mac
Come
and
on,
cheese.
Come on.
Who doesn't like mac and cheese?
I don't know. Nah, get that out of my life.
Out.
I don't like pickles though.
I'm not a pickle guy.
Yeah, so backdoor barbecue. Have you been to backdoor barbecue, Tayshawn? So it's down on 23rd. They do a pickled fried okra. That was a very upsetting surprise. I just don't like pickled things.
Yeah, that is upsetting.
I like pickles. Hey guys, I have one final question for you before we do that. I want to talk to you about Oklahoma Shirt Company. $10 Oklahoma themed shirt every month. Also, other states like
Kansas, Texas, shirt of the month. They're going to give you a theme shirt, $10 a month, plus shipping fees, all those different things. They're going to hook you up. Here's the other thing I want to tell you about. So Oklahoma Shirt Company right now has made like 5 or 6 state park themed shirts, and they're awesome. You can find them online on their website. You want to check those out. Like, so everybody in state park,
check them out.
Check them out. It's an awesome. I think they're just beautiful shirts too. But check them out. OklahomaShirtCompany.com. What else can they do for you though, Luke?
They can help you make a shirt for special events. Say that you're going to a special event and you want to get all your event participants shirts. You can do it.
Luke is going to Vegas for a bachelor party. You know what Luke's going to do?
Make Oklahoma Shirt Company make some shirts.
Stickers, hats. This hat I have on my head. They did it.
They do it, and they can do it for you, and it will be great, and everyone will love it, and they'll be like, "You're so great," and that's stolen valor. But in this case, it's okay. Hey guys, are you meant to event? I'm not Mr. People BNB.
Why?
Today's payday, my man.
Oh, nice.
It is.
Last day of the month.
Dude, it's been this week. It's going to be pretty dead around here. Like it's July 4th week. It's like right in the middle of the week. It's going to be.
Get ready, dogs. You're going to be so stressed out this week.
No. Oh, yeah.
Firecrackers.
Yeah.
Dogs. This week is
That's true.
dog and anxiety week.
It really is.
They know.
I know.
Dogs feel like that, except they know the trauma's always going to come back.
It's true.
Andrew, you Mr. Peeve, man?
I'm not miffed and or peeved. I do want to say something though. My neighbor Ava had a match for a bone marrow transplant, and it ended up falling through actually twice. And so they have one more match for her, and it's a guy that lives overseas, and they don't know if it'll work out. So I want to encourage you guys to go to bethematch.org. All you have to do is register with them. They will send you a kit where you can swab. You just swab your cheek, you send it back to them, and you can be a match for somebody for a bone marrow transplant. It's very simple. Doesn't cost you any money at all. All you have to do is go to bethematch.org, join, have them send you a kit, swab your cheek, send it in. So I would encourage you guys to do that. You can be a match for anybody, not just Ava. There's a lot of people that need that. And now, like, they don't have to like extract bone marrow out of you like they used to. They just take blood from you and are able to extract it that way.
That's
so
crazy.
It's not a difficult process for you, but you could be saving somebody's life. There are thousands of families that are sitting and waiting for the right match, and there's not enough people in this database. So if we get people to just go to that website, I'll tweet it out today. Go to the website, register, get yourself swabbed, send it in. You can save somebody's life. And I think everybody feels good if you do something like that. So please do that.
That's a good word, man. I saw somebody else. Was that Lisa? It was maybe at the NBA award show that Be the Match was one of the things that I'm a blank on there. Robin.
Oh yeah, Robin Roberts.
Yeah, Robin Roberts.
Yeah.
She's a big part of Be the Match.
Yep.
And the importance of bone marrow. And I tell you, I mean, I don't, just to be honest, like, I think I've always had this in the back of my mind, this fear of the bone marrow donation process. Like, it's done with a needle, they have to give you anesthesia, but
They don't do that anymore.
I know. But the thing that's important about that is, like, you never know that just, it's a 20 or 30 hours of your time could tremendously
You could
change somebody's life.
Yes.
Save their life.
You would save
It's
their
insane.
life. Save their life.
BeTheMatch.com or BeTheMatch.org, excuse me.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention, man.
Yeah.
Taylor, you want to follow that up?
Hey, Taylor, you want to say something stupid?
Thanks for listening to our podcast.
I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Taylor.
Sweet.